Well, blessed morning, friends, folks. Let's dive into this great lesson here. This is solidarity and suffering. I believe you will get something out of this, because I sure did. We have today, we have Hebrews 13:3. Remember those in prison and as if you were their fellow prisoners, and those who are mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering. Then we have a quote from a helmet dialect. Tell me how much you know of the suffering of your fellow men, and I will tell you how much you have loved them. In word. At any given time, many of God's saints are in prison. The prison may be literal, or it may be a product of circumstances. It can be a financial debt, a broken relationship, a physical ailment, or any other constraining situation. A huge problem in the church is when believers look at their imprisoned brothers and sisters and assume that God has not favored them. Paul probably had experienced such a phenomenon. We read his prison epistles and marvel at his suffering for the cause, but many of his contemporaries may not have marveled. They may have seen his troubles as a sign of God's disfavor and wondered why someone with so much potential had fallen to such depths. God's prisons are full of his loved ones. He uses those experiences mightily, as he did with Paul, Joseph, John the Baptist, John the disciple, and numerous other biblical examples. In fact, most of those whom he had used in powerful ways had experienced an imprisonment, captivity, or loneliness ordained directly by him. January 5th, 2008 is when I found him, right over here in the Comanche County jail cell. I surrendered to him, so I can identify with him. Indeed, are you in prison? You are probably not literally behind bars, but your circumstances may make you feel as if you are. Don't despair, it will not last. It is ordained by God and is designed either for your current witness or future usefulness. He is refining you and molding you into his image, the exact likeness of his crucified Son. Do you know someone in prison? Do not condemn. God is highlighting the current witness of his saints and preparing them for future fruitfulness. It is never his intention for his church to turn on its visibly fallen. Solidarity is his prescription for believers. Pray for those who suffer and meet their needs however you can. Demonstrate your solidarity with the captive saint today. That is pretty awesome. So, when you have fruit from the tree of life, and this is the tree of life as they call it, when you have that fruit, you want to gather it, you want to harvest it, and when it's talk about feeding, it's giving the word, and this is pretty much what I do each and every day. You know, especially whenever I'm fixing to get on them weights, you always see me lift hearts before iron. And what I mean by that is I'm simply going to read this word and going to feed you the wonderful fruit that it has in love, not condemnation. To release someone from prison, to me, I thought of Luke 179. Actually, I'll go 77 through 79. You will tell his people how to find salvation through forgiveness of their sins. Because of God's tender mercy, the morning light from heaven is about to break upon us, to give light to those who sat in darkness and in the shadow of death, and to guide us to the path of peace. We'll go ahead and finish out here. John grew up and became strong in spirit, and he lived in the wilderness until he began his public ministry to Israel. When we have this wonderful fruit, we want to give it to someone so it can pull them up out of the darkness where they are. To give light to those who sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, and to guide them to the path of peace. The path of peace, there is no greater fruit than the fruit of love. Love is not irritable, does not put itself first. It suffers long and endures everything. This is how I can endure my babe going home. Well, hey, I wouldn't know. And so I cannot thank you enough for this. And this is how I have daily joy. She got released. Now, when I think about jail, there's a song by Metallica called Woman. I won't listen to it no more. And I really used to like that jam a lot. But it's about a man who was all jacked up because a rocket landed on him, and all he is a torso and a head. My wife, she had her full limbs, but she deteriorated to a point where she was just breathing. And when they put her on comfort care, we watched her go. And nothing prepared me for that but the Lord and my mother-in-law being my pastor, and we were there at her side. until the day that she died in the flesh, but went home in the spirit. And that's what I'm talking about. She was released from the captivity of making bad choices, from the captivity of sickness. She made the right choice. She gave her heart back to the Lord. She gave her heart back to the Lord before she got really sick, y'all. And that's the joy that I have. I'm sad that she ain't here. I can't spoon her no more, or hold on to her. But I had a magnificent dream while I was holding her. And it was about like this. I was holding her, we was looking over, just looking down a hill. I don't even know if we talked in that dream, but when I woke up, I didn't have a feeling like I wanted to go back to the dream. I had a feeling like, I can handle this today. I can handle living. I'm going to be a good dad to my babies. I'm going to be a better leader than I've ever been before. I still make mistakes, but I too have to get pulled up out of the prison of anger, because anger gives a foothold to the devil. But because I believe in the Most High God, I always have victory over the devil and every demon that he has, because I simply believe in the one he has sent. Be blessed. I'm Warpath today.